components. So we go to browse your course. Everyone but World can listen to me right now. Okay. You guys have in this program three components. Onboard, AP Core, and Scoreboard. I'm going to give you a quick little rundown. Onboard is a foundational skills course with a prerequisite test and a post-test to kind of benchmark your kids for the beginning of school. Okay, it's like, I often when working with AP teachers, they assign Onboard, everything in Onboard, and give the kids 2 weeks to complete it in the background while they continue to teach AP US History, while they continue to teach AP World. So Onboard is kind of a background, 8 hours of work. It's kind of like a summer packet, kind of like the idea of a summer packet, and it's foundational skills, okay? It's foundational skills to get them ready for AP US, AP World, whatever. Scoreboard is 18 hours of content review and 4 full practice exams, either digital or paper pencil. So Scoreboard is test prep. That's to start in February, start in January, February is usually when teachers start it and start giving out those practice exams. Now y'all, there's 4 practice exams in there. The test is not digital. I hear from AP teachers all the time, what good is a practice digital AP test? And this is what I've heard from some of my larger Texas, I live in Texas. They give the first 2 digitally because it scares the kids. Holy smokes, this test is hard. And kind of flexes their AP test taking muscles. And then they give the last 2 practice exams paper pencil. So the first 2 digital, the last 2 paper pencil for a real world testing experience. The first 2 it will grade all the multiple choice for you, right? So that's good. Are we doing okay?
No, I'm not in.
Okay, let's figure it out. AP teachers on A. We got this. Ed teacher 4. Oh, teachers is spelled wrong. There we go. Now we're in, and click like save password or something somewhere. Okay. So that's what Onboard and Scoreboard are. We're not going to spend time there right now. The meat of what you guys need to know is here in AP Core. Okay. The meat of what you need for like teaching tomorrow is in AP Core, and that's where you're going to live and breathe most of your year. Listen to me now. Click the arrow. The arrow, not the word. The arrow is your friend. The word takes you through like a black hole of weirdness. And y'all, I'm raising my hand with our development team. You're confusing teachers and it makes me crazy, okay? So I just make sure I'm very clear. We're gonna click the arrow, okay? And you'll see this first folder, when you click the arrow next to AP Core, this first folder is kind of some extra resources. So I'm going to click the word now. Okay, I got that telling you don't click the word. And these are some extra teacher resources associated with this course. The correlations, the full teacher manual, the digital quick start guide, all of that stuff are right there at the top. Let me go back and show you how I got that. Okay, so dashboard, browse your course arrow, AP Core arrow, and at the bottom, at the top is some specific course resources. Okay? Now I'm going to just jump into a chapter. Okay? Chapter 9. Okay? What I'm about to do is walk through an entire chapter page, just so you understand the visual vocabulary of what's going on. Hey, let me tell you, once you understand a single chapter page, you understand every chapter page, because they all look and feel and act the same, okay? So here at the top of the chapter page, there's a Show Chapter Info button, okay? Show Chapter Info. Click there. Look at what it opens. It opens a series of tabs to give you some hints and tips about teaching this chapter. So this is an overview. This is teaching the chapter, some hints and tips here. There's 80 suggested assignments, which we have given you. I'll show you those. These are the benchmarks. Oh, this one's not loaded. So we're in the process of loading them because the College Board just redesigned all the courses. Chapter 6 is loaded. We did 6 earlier, so I guess they haven't gotten to 9 yet. But here will be learning objectives tied to the new May 2019 College Board standards, and then here's pacing. Okay. What I like here is that this is how much of the test is based in this chapter. So some it's heavier and some it's less. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you is student resources. If you do nothing, you like, Thomas, I hate digital, I ain't touching none of that. The kids will have the ebook in their account no matter what, okay? And the pagination of the book and the digital are identical. So if you're sitting here with a physical copy of the book and turn to page 100, and you tell the kids to turn to 100 in their ebook, it looks identical, okay? And it says page 100, and it comes up on an iPad. The ebook looks really beautiful. Okay, this book they can highlight, underline, annotate, underscore, and have it read to them. So if you have any kids with any auditory 504 issues, they can highlight it, push the speaker icon, and it will read the words to them. Okay, Smart Book is a different thing, and we'll do it after the first break. Okay, Smart Book is a different thing. I want you to hear this because this is the part where I'm like, I don't care if you don't like digital, I really need you to use the Smart Book because I think it has the power to change kids' grades, their retention, their AP score, all of that. So this is what Smart Book is, and we will go deep into it. Smart Book is a version of the ebook that highlights things they need to know to be successful on the AP exam in yellow. After they've read for 9 to 15 minutes, a button will start to vibrate and say, it doesn't say anything yet. And it's asking them to answer some questions. If they continue to read, it will pop a person up on the screen and say, you've been reading long enough, you need to go answer some questions. They jump into those formative assessment questions based on their answer, the correctness of it, the length of time it took them to answer, and their confidence level in their own answer. And I will show you all of this. It re-highlights the book. Green for mastered, remains yellow for still struggling. What I like about this as an educator is it's about getting the kid to get the information. So you're super smart, you work through chapter 9 in 30 minutes, and you answer all the questions, and you turn all your highlighting green. I'm struggling, I take an hour. You get 100, guess what? I got 100 too. So this isn't a gotcha moment, or you're wrong, or you're bad, or haha, you're smarter, slower, stronger, faster, whatever. This is about getting the kids to get the information in their head. So it's really kind of a scaffolded, supported reading experience for those kids. The other thing AP teachers love is you can assign this reading. You can see who did it, who didn't do it, how long they spent doing it, what questions they're getting right as a class down to granular level individual students are missing. So if there's a learning objective that the entire class is struggling with, it's going to stand out to you because in your reports it's going to say they don't get this concept as a class. So the power and the data of that, and it's black and white. So I had a teacher, I did a training one time, and it was 6 teachers, and it was their second year of using our program. So it was actually kind of cool. 6 teachers. These 2 teachers were rock stars and used everything I'm showing you. Everything. Like, they used it better than I know it. Like, they were training me. These 2 teachers only used the Smart Book, okay? Which I'm like, thank God, that's all I need you to use. And these 2 teachers didn't even know how to log in, okay? Which we know that person is there. So they didn't even know how to log in. I had these 4 teachers come stand behind these 2 master teachers and say, what drives your instruction? Why do you like to use these components? And they pulled up the reporting from the reading, and it showed them these 5 kids are in trouble. And this one teacher, she goes, these are mandatory tutoring. Like, you're having trouble in this class. And it's just data. It's like, didn't answer questions, missing learning objectives, like, they're struggling. And so, these kids up here, upper right of the graph, like rock stars. Like, I don't even need to be in the room and you're gonna get a 5 on the AP exam. Okay, and so what I like is that it gives you that data of these are the kids that are struggling. So we'll go deep into that, but just so you know, the kids just see the e-book. When we get into it, I'll tell you. So just below it is chapter assignments, okay? So these are test banks that we've loaded. You could, if you just wanted to assign this, push it out, it's in the kids' account, okay? But these are the test banks that you will draw on when you create your own test, okay? But we've given them to you. Okay, below here is a PowerPoint and some history. These are some podcasts and map activities, okay, that you can push out to them digitally. It's gonna have them look at something and respond and drag and drop and manipulate. These are, you'll see it says a learning resource. Okay, that means it's not a PDF. These have to be done digitally because it says learning resource, okay? But you'll see down here, look at, these are some primary source and secondary source activities. These are PDFs. So you can choose one of two things. You can push it out to them and it'll be their account and they can read it on their page and you didn't go to the copier. Or if you want to photocopy these things, if you push on them, there's a download button. You can download these items as well. One thing I often say to teachers is there's too much here. There's too much. You cannot do all of this in one school year. So you need to make a decision after having taught this course before, or what resources you have, or what you think the kids will respond to in an appropriate way, that's the assignment you do, okay? And then this is, keep going, look, there's a ton, right? So these are all different activities. Thoughts on female education, watching this farewell address, okay? Here's a source library. So these are documents, okay, that we can, these are Word, you see these are Word, but you can just, watch this, we click, there's a couple things that I want you to see. There's two options here, add to student page or assign. Add to student page or assign. If you add a thing to a student's page, no grading happens. No accountability happens. Where that might be appropriate, teachers, is if the kid is absent, you can click here, add to student page. Every kid in the class, after you do this PowerPoint in class, will now have the Chapter 9 PowerPoint in their account, just below their ebook, okay? So that's an appropriate thing where you don't need a grade if they looked at the PowerPoint or not, okay? But some of this other stuff, so we would go, let's say we want to give this math activity, I'm going to do an assign. You pick a date, time, and range, okay? It's worth 100 points. It is see, I don't have my grade book set up. I'm going to assign it. And now you see below it, it says assign. If we go back up here to dashboard, you'll see that it added this math activity. It added to the dashboard. And if you want to look one more place, friends, you can go to calendar. And you'll see that it's on the calendar. So it depends on your visual style. Do you like to see everything laid out on a calendar grid? Do you like to see things on a dashboard? Okay, it just depends on how you want to see it. So let's go back. Let me hear.
I see you did say outside of the demo, it all integrates into Google, right?
It does. Yeah, it does. And that would be, like I said, this button and a link to your Google Classroom. Right. Right there. So let's keep going down the Chapter 9 page. Okay. At the bottom, well, and I want to show you this too. Let me show you this before I go to the bottom. So I'm going to open this PowerPoint. Y'all, you didn't hear me say this? Like, pause it? I'm kidding. It opens up in a stupid viewer, and it makes me crazy, because no one wants to use a stupid viewer. So if you download here, or you download here, there's two ways to download it. It downloads as a real PowerPoint, okay? It downloads as a real PowerPoint, and then you can move slides, delete slides, add an image, whatever. So it opens up in this viewer, and it kind of makes me crazy. So you see download here, or you see download here, okay? And that's how you download those. The same with these, y'all. So these down here are PDF, but this is a Word document. So if you click here, it's going to open it up in the viewer, right? So this is Washington's first inaugural speech. Oh my gosh, it looks incredibly intense. Okay, looks like there's a lot of words in this speech. Okay, so here's the speech. If you download, you can save this as a Word document. Look at open it up, and then there's the whole speech. Okay, just depending on what you want to do. You can upload Word documents into Google Drive, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So then we're gonna go to the bottom. Y'all don't ask me why they put them down here at the bottom. Teacher resources. Teacher resources. So here's the teacher manual for just this chapter. Remember how I told you at the front it was 300 pages? Mm-hmm. This at the bottom, teacher resources, is single chapter 9. These are images from the book, all the images, and this is an answer key to chapter. Let's look at it, what it is. Okay, these are in the book. There are questions, right? In the book, at the end of the chapters, these are the answers to the end of chapter questions. Okay, let's look at the teacher manual, the single page. So I as a teacher think some of these are really good. So this is concepts and themes of chapter 9, tips and timing, okay, tips and timing, related essential knowledge from the College Board framework, okay. These are key terms. Here's some activities, and like I said, there's too much. There's going to be too many activities for you, okay. Enrichment Constitutional Convention, classroom enrichment, suggested readings for some primary sources, okay, chapter feature answer keys, okay, short answer, long answer, okay. So, what I'm going to ask you to do right now, your homework assignment, is go into whatever book you want to look at, and go into AP Core, remember, click the arrow, pick the first 3 chapters, and download the first 3 PowerPoints, and download the first 3 teacher manuals. Oh, one thing I didn't speak to is watch. You go to this PowerPoint, it's in a reader. Annoying. We download it. It's a real PowerPoint. Okay? This is a real PowerPoint, chapter 9 PowerPoint. Look at, you can enable editing so that now you have PowerPoint ready. File, save as. Look at this garbly-goop. Y'all, it makes me crazy. This is what it wants to name this file, the chapter 9 PowerPoint. So when you save the instructor manual on the PowerPoint, you will need to rename it chapter 9 AP US History PowerPoint, chapter 9 AP US History Instructor Manual. Okay, so right now I'm going to give you about 10 minutes. Okay, some of you don't have devices, but if you, I'm going to walk around and kind of help you do it. Okay, download the first 3 chapters of PowerPoints and the first 3 instructor manuals. Okay.